Shuvinu, Yehovah, Elecha Vanashuva. Turn us back to you, Yehovah, and we will return. Yehovah Sasan, Yehovah of joy. Yehovah Elohi, Yehovah Sasan. Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh. Please fill me and lead me, and cover me and stir me, and speak through me with your Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness and humility to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts and mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. 1 Chronicles chapter 15. David erected buildings for himself in the city of David, prepared a place for the ark of God, and set up a tent for it. Then David said, no one but the Levi'im should carry the Aleph Tav ark of God, because Yehovah chose them to carry the Aleph Tav ark of Yehovah to serve him forever. David assembled Aleph Tav all Israel in Jerusalem to bring the Aleph Tav ark of Yehovah up to its place, where he had prepared for it. David gathered together the Aleph Tav descendants of Aaron and the Aleph Tav Levi'im from the descendants of Chat, Uriel the chief, and 120 kinsmen from the descendants of Miri, Asaiah the chief, and 220 of his kinsmen from the descendants of Gershom, Yoel the chief, and 130 of his kinsmen from the descendants of Elitzaphan, Shemaiah the chief, and 200 of his kinsmen from the descendants of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and 80 of his kinsmen, and from the descendants of Uziel, Amminadab the chief, and 112 of his kinsmen. David called for Zadok and Evyatar the Kohanim, and for the Levi'im, Uriel, Asaiah, Yoel, Shemaiah, Eliel, and Amminadab, and said to them, you are the clan leaders of the Levi'im. Consecrate yourself, both you and your kinsmen, to bring the Aleph Tav ark of Yehovah, the God of Israel, up to the place I have prepared for it. It's because you weren't there the first time that Yehovah our God broke out against us. We didn't seek him out according to the rule. So the Kohanim and Levi'im consecrated themselves to bring up the Aleph Tav ark of Yehovah, the God of Israel. And the Levi'im carried the Aleph Tav ark of God on their shoulders and with poles on it, as Moshe had ordered according to what Yehovah had said. David spoke to the chief of the Levi'im to appoint their Aleph Tav kinsmen to be singers, making use of musical instruments, lutes, lyres, and cymbals, to play loudly and raise sounds of joy. So the Levi'im appointed Aleph Tav Herman, the son of Yoel, of his kinsmen, Asaph, the son of Berechayehu, of the descendants of Miri, their kinsmen, Etan, the son of Cushayehu, and with them their second-degree kinsmen, Zechariahu, Ben, Ya'aziel, and Shmiriamot, Yachiel, Uni, Eliab, Benayehu, Ma'asiyehu, Matayehu, Eleph-lehu, Michniehu, and with Obed-Edom and Ye'ael, the gatekeepers. The singers, Heman, Asaph, and Etan, were appointed to sound the bronze cymbals. Zechariahu, Eziel, Shemiriot, Yachiel, Uni, and Eliab, Ma'asiyehu, and Benayehu were to play the lutes for the alamot high-pitched music. Metayehu, Eliphelehu, Michniehu, Obed-Edom, and Ye'ael, and Eziehu were to play the lyres, to lead in Shemanit, low-pitched music. Yehu, chief of the Levi'im, was in charge of the singing. He was put in charge of the singing because he was skillful at it. Yehu and Elkanah were gatekeepers for the ark. Yehu, Yoshaphat, Nathanael, Amasai, Zechariah, Benayehu, and Eleazar, the Kohanim, blow the trumpets in front of the ark of God. Obed-Edom and Yechiah were gatekeepers for the ark. So David, the leaders of Israel, and the commanders over thousands went to bring up the Aleph Tav ark for the covenant of Yehovah out from the house of Obed-Edom with joy, since God was helping the Aleph Tav Levi'im who were carrying the ark for the covenant of Yehovah. They sacrificed 7 young bulls and 7 rams. David, all the Levi'im bearing the Aleph Tav ark of the singers, and the Kenayah, the music leaders, for the singers were wearing linen cloaks, and David was also wearing a linen ritual vest. So all Israel brought up the Aleph Tav ark for the covenant of Yehovah with shouting, blowing on shofars and trumpets and cymbals, sounding with lutes and lyres. As the ark of the covenant of Yehovah entered the city of David, Micah, the daughter of Shaul, watching from the window, saw Aleph Tav, King David, dancing and celebrating, and she was filled with contempt for him. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading this fascinating 15th chapter of 1 Chronicles? We can love Yehovah by carrying his presence in holiness. Love Yehovah by rejoicing in his commandments with gladness. Love Yehovah by preparing yourself carefully for his service. How can we love our neighbors as we love ourselves and as Yeshua loves us? By inviting them to rejoice in Yehovah's presence, showing reverence and joy together. How can we bear one another's burdens? By supporting others in worship, helping them approach Yehovah with honor and joy. What are the top 3 fruits of the Spirit found? 1. Joy. David danced with all his might before Yehovah. 2. Reverence. The Levites sanctified themselves for the ark. 3. Obedience. The ark was carried properly according to Torah. What is the Hebrew word that encapsulates this chapter? Simcha, joy, gladness. Verse 28. Thus all Israel brought up the ark with shouting, with the sound of the horn, with trumpets. How can we find Yeshua in the scriptures? The ark symbolizes God's presence fulfilled in Yeshua dwelling among us. David's joyful possession points to Messiah's triumphal entry. Worship in spirit and truth finds its fullness in Yeshua. Mitzvah response, Torah-based mitzvah. Deuteronomy 12, verse 7. You shall rejoice before Yehovah your God. A response might look like this: I will worship Yehovah with joy and reverence, honoring his presence in my life. Hebrew declaration: Simchat Yehovah, mele'ah kol-haMachaneh. The joy of Yehovah filled the whole assembly. End with the Aaronic blessing and kitva v'chatma tova. May you be inscribed and sealed for good. Now we'll end with the Aaronic blessing using the name. Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he'll provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and set in place all you need to be whole and complete. Shalom, shalom.